welcome back to Girls in the West. I'm Zara, and in today's episode, we will be talking all about how to stay motivated and confident in a competitive industry. Today, we do not have Ella, but we do have a very special guest that I am super excited for, so let's get right into the episode. Hey,
Hey!
we have our special guest on. You want to introduce yourself?
Oh, hey! Oh my God. Hi, guys. My name's David Warren. I'm 23 years old and I'm from Hot Springs, Arkansas. It's nice to be talking to you guys today.
Yes. So, you are a dancer, choreographer, and singer-songwriter?
Oh my God. I totally forgot to give that part of the intro too. Oh my God.
No, it's totally okay.
Okay. Yes, I'm a dancer, songwriter, choreographer, artist. I'm doing a lot of different, like a plethora of different things because I always feel like I don't want to get complacent and just stick to one skill forever. I feel like I'm just overall an entrepreneur of just taking on different tasks. So I just
Yes, and I
love.
feel like that is definitely
Mhm.
very important in this industry because, things can go south very quickly.
No, yeah, definitely, definitely.
So, you have 507,000 on followers on TikTok and 33,000 on Instagram. How did you get started?
Okay, so I had a little bit of an interesting journey, is what we'll say. I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be doing more than what I was doing in my current life, which I was like I think about 14, 15 when I started posting videos on the internet. So it's been about like 10 years now. So it's been like almost like, oh my God, almost a full decade since I started the internet. That's so weird. But I basically was just making little funny videos for people at my school and I was just posting them on Instagram. And I was posting them on Musically as well. Like as soon as those platforms came out, I was on them and I was posting. I was kind of like the tech savvy person of the school because not a lot of people know about Arkansas in the first place. So just imagine how the people in Arkansas are about the outside world.
Oh
They're
yeah,
like,
I
what
bet.
is this? They're like,
Yeah.
what is this? So I was like pretty much the only tech savvy person that was like actively posting on the internet and stuff like that. So throughout the years, I just kept posting and I decided to go to my first VidCon in 2016 and I was 16 years old and I finally had the money. I was planning to meet a lot of my IVFs and I was just really looking forward to this VidCon event because I saw it like everybody else and it as an ad and all of these big YouTubers and stuff were supposed to be there and think I had like a little bit of a platform. I had like 20K followers at the time. So I had so yeah, so I that year like VidCon's like in the middle of the year. It's like June, July usually, like that type of like time period, summertime. So I went to VidCon and I was watching Wednesdays with Liza every Wednesday, and she was my idol. So I told myself if I even just got to look at her, that would be amazing. And
Oh yeah.
I was walking through VidCon with my little brother because I cannot travel alone. Fun fact, I literally have to take somebody with me everywhere because I'm scared that I'll get lost. So I literally dragged my little brother all the way to Anaheim, California with me. And we were walking through the main of like VidCon. And this was like the year that the Taco Bell had like Taco Bell had a sponsored like booth there and they were giving out free like slushies all day and it was like you custom make it. It was gonna be fire. Like point blank. Needless to say, I may or may not have gotten diabetes from VidCon that year. Imagine. But we
Yeah.
were at that booth, and I just started hearing people screaming, and the screaming started sounding like it was coming towards us. And we're standing like in front of the main stage. That there's like a panel happening, and I was like, okay, who is screaming? What I want to see what everybody's screaming about, and all I saw was literally running towards me at like maximum speed, Liza Koshy in her Jet costume, and she
That's so
stops in front of
cool.
me. It says, "I am Jet," and then runs all the way back to this like curtain to go like off stage where people cannot get her. So I was like, oh my god, that was Liza Koshy. So I literally ran back there and I was like, like I ran to like the curtain because everybody had gotten stopped at the curtain, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like that was Liza Koshy. She stopped in front of me. Like this is crazy. Like this is my idol. Like this is my first year of VidCon. I at least want to like try and take a picture or try to do something to like get her attention. So I camped on the side, and Liza was completely phenomenal. And I was standing there for about like 15 minutes watching like the panel that was on stage to see like what was gonna happen or whatever. And some lady comes out of the curtains, and she's just like talking to different people. And I was like, I don't know what this lady does, but she looks like she's important or she's saying something. So I just looked at her, and she grabbed my arm, and she was like, "Hey, how would you like to meet go on stage with Liza
No
and David?"
way. Oh my gosh.
I joke you not. Like I was like, no way. My little brother watches me. I'm like fully like about to cry. I'm like, yes, yes. But she's like, keep it, on the low because she doesn't
Yeah.
want everybody else in the crowd to like, because we're standing in a crowd of people because people had flooded the halls when Liza started running. It was like all the way from the front to the back. Like there's booths full of people, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm going to finally meet my idol. This is crazy. This is my first year of VidCon. Like, I can't believe this is literally happening to me. Like, she is like, and it's crazy because recently I got to do a TV show with Liza Koshy, so it was like a
Yes,
full
we're gonna
circle
talk about
moment.
that in
Oh
the
my god.
yes.
Okay, so let me just. So I got to go on stage with Liza, and that video alone that I took from going on stage and have a dance battle with her and David, and just like having those videos, like I turned. That's when I started to want to romanticize my life and post more on the internet. So I made it my New Year's resolution every year to start over on a new platform and just try to blow up. And I started all over on Instagram, and I gained 20,000 followers with 18 million views in like less than 3 months. It was like
Wow.
January to March. I started a new Musically account. It hit 50K. I stopped posting on it. And I have like 7 more accounts that have over 10K because every year, the only thing that seemed to change consistently was TikTok. Like
Mm,
it used to
yeah.
be Musically, and then before
Mhm.
that, I like Vine was like a thing. Those
Yes.
the short term people who have like the memories. It just we were on a different platform at the time, so I just stayed on that one for consistently because it was super fun as well because it wasn't like the other platforms. It was just more interactive for me. Like I had to get up and learn dances, or I had to like go do this DIY project. It was like more interactive for me from my perspective. So I loved using TikTok. So I this last account, the 500K account, like is my main account. And I that year it was 2019. I had just gotten robbed at gunpoint and left in the woods to die before going to VidCon for my third year.
Oh,
And it was literally like 6 hours before I'm supposed to drive from Arkansas all the way to California. And I had all my internet best friends and everything like that, but I was like I had and a lot of stuff happened. But basically, I was trying to help a friend out, and they were stuck in the middle of the woods at night, and ended up with me getting like left in the middle of the woods to die after we had been shot at and stuff like that.
oh
It
my
was kind of
gosh.
crazy. It
I'm
was kind of
so sorry.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's another reason why like Arkansas Loki is like trauma for me because like nothing's going on there, but also they're so behind in technology and just like I would say even like laws and rights and stuff because
Yeah.
even though I was able to prove who was doing it, who did it, they were like, it'll be a year before this even sees the light of day. And I was like,
Yeah, that's
okay,
crazy.
wow. But that happened, and so that year I went in traumatized, like to VidCon. But I was like, I have to get out of Arkansas. I have to go like to California at least, like to try. Like I just can't stay here. I had this whole plan to go, so I just paused because we were gonna leave 5 days earlier. So I just like decided to leave 2 days before instead. So I was like, okay, we're still going. We just need time to like recover because everything that happened was like traumatizing. So I showed up to VidCon super traumatized, but still open and trying to pretend like none of that stuff happened when in fact I was scarred.
Yeah.
But the first like face that I saw was like I was coming down this escalator and I was doing a interviews this year for a documentary that I will not say because it's still it could low-key be a project, but I was gonna interview my friend Peyton. So I come down to the lobby and it's nice to meet people who are not fake people
Yes, for
online and
sure.
offline because like
Mhm.
you just think that like a lot of people are actually trying to play into that narrative of oh this is not me or like they just
Yes.
become completely somebody completely different. So I'm super grateful to be like that I had him. So I we were agreed to meet at the bottom of the elevator, and I saw him there with some other girl, and I was like, "Who is this? Who is this girl? Like, I don't know who this. I don't know who this is, Mama." And me
Yeah.
and Peyton had a lot of like videos go viral that year, and I got to know more about that girl, and she was like, I think somebody else asked me because there was like a circle forming, and they were like, "Do you know who this girl is?" I was like, "No, who is this? I don't know. I don't know who she is, but I like her. She's funny. Like we get along." We were like, we had a whole conversation before I even found out who she was, and they were like, "Oh, it's the clown check girl," and I'm like, "What is that? What is that?" Like, there's still a population of the people on the internet who don't know where things are. Like
Yeah.
not everybody sees them, but we ended up becoming like best friends for the entire like rest of the event. We continued to talk afterwards and just be like get more involved in each other's lives. And then I started coming out to LA more. And later that year, I went from 300 just from VidCon to like September from posting videos from VidCon because it was such a popular topic. I gained 200,000 followers. So
Wow,
that
that's
made,
crazy.
and that was from scratch because the I did a new account every year. So
Wow.
that year it was like a real hit. So later on that year, December, it was like the last month. All those videos are starting to low key come off and just like lose their hype a bit. So went to this event called Winter Lights, and my friend Peyton was going to be there again. So we just planned to meet up because I needed to travel, and it would just be nice to see my friend again. So we ended up being on the same flight, and that video went viral. So we ended up being on the same flight the day before, December 10th, and then I saw him, so I decided I was like, oh yeah, I'm in like the rows behind him, so I'm gonna go surprise him. I wait till everybody sit down. I go to act like I'm going towards the bathroom and just walk towards him, and I just look at him, and that video went viral. It got 20 million views overnight, and
Damn. Oh my gosh.
I went from 200,000 to 500,000. So
That's
no wait,
crazy.
five
Wow.
450,000, something like that. Yeah, it's crazy. And I just continued to post videos of us because we saw each other that next day. So I posted another follow up video that was like us reacting to our video going viral, like because it was a wholesome moment. I just like
No,
to share
yeah.
moments of my life, like seeing the people that I care about is what makes me want to keep going, and I just want to figure out how I can help them in any way that I can possible. And if seeing each other and just being a bright face that makes you smile is good enough, then I'm here for it all the time, mama.
I love that. And you're talking about like, like people making you smile. I just want to say that I met you in a dance class at Millennium
Oh
and
yeah.
um you always would just like make me laugh because like the room would be silent and you just like would like make a noise or like do something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was just hilarious and you just like I just felt I was very like always intimidated and like nervous to like go into those classes. But
Uh,
whenever like I would see that you were there, I just like was like excited because I was just like, I know that I am not going to be scared in this class because I don't know, you just like make the room more
I,
of like a happy,
welcoming.
yeah,
I
welcoming
love that.
place.
And that's like my intention because I know what it's like to be out there on that floor because like you're coming in to
Yes.
become better and everybody wants to be perfect before they leave, but it's literally
Mhm.
impossible. And I feel
Yes.
like if I just like if I, even if I'm not you seen I'm even if I'm the only person screaming in the room, if that's enough, I will do that for you 110% because I feel like I'm just not hypocritical. I do what I preach, type thing. Like I believe in you, and somebody who believes in you would not be quiet on the side. And I don't even know you.
No, I love that. It's so oh, it makes it like 10 times better and so much more fun just like knowing that there is someone in the room that like is like there for you, you know? Even if you don't know
Yes.
them, like it just cuz
Yeah,
it can
exactly.
be
Because it just breaks
difficult.
the ice.
Yes, and like obviously going into those dance classes, it's intimidating and it's scary. And at least for me, like when I'm watching other dancers or if I'm in a class learning, I am very to myself and I may seem like a very like mean person just cuz I like don't talk and I just have such a straight face, but that's just like me concentrating and like I am
Mhm.
terrible at, like, picking up choreography, so the only way for me to, like, somewhat, like, pick up
It's
choreography
tunnel
is, like
vision.
yes. Um,
No, I
and
get
so,
that.
like, I bet other people, like, in those rooms are like that too, and I feel like that is probably also why, um, it always just, like, seems like, not really, like, a friendly place, but, I mean, we're all just there to, like, obviously just do our best and yeah,
Yeah,
but so
everybody in the room is out there to get better, and
yeah.
I feel like that comes from like the older generations of now that social media has picked up dance wasn't what it is now, like was
Mhm.
it was back then. Like people were taking class just to take class. Now
For
people are taking
sure.
class because of like
To get
different
video
reasons.
yeah, to get
Exactly,
filmed.
like like things changed, and like the teachers have noticed it. Like not
Yes.
everybody is in that same mindset, but a good
Mhm.
majority of people were you like kind of know what to expect when you go into these classes, because if you go to like Millennium and you just go to like a Kyle Hanagami class, there's a bunch of heavy hitters in the room. That makes
Yes,
you
for
feel like this
sure.
is a very competitive, like
Yeah.
scary, not open space. Like what are you doing? Maybe you'll never be a good dancer type thing. You gotta like pace yourself, type thing. So I feel like I pushed myself into a lot of those situations where it wasn't just me diving into the heavy classes to teach myself something. It was like other people. And like I found joy in just screaming and just being like, girl, like this is freaking me out, but like we going through it together. Like let's do it. Let's
Yes.
go. Like so every time the
No,
teacher asks for
literally.
like a call to response, like I'm like the first person to be like, yeah, like something
Yes.
really weird to make everybody like realize that this is just a class. Like nobody's asking you to be perfect. Just come in and be better than you were when you came in.
Yes, oh my gosh, I love that because I do struggle with, like I mean, I haven't taken a class, from, like, studio, like because 'cause I'm in college now, so I'm dancing all the time in school,
Oh
but,
yeah.
before I was homeschooled and I, like, would only take, like, classes at those studios, but I do wanna get back into it just 'cause, I don't know, it's a good environment and it really pushes you, but it's I was just always so scared in those classes, but I just, like, love how you said that, like, we're all there just to, like, learn, get better, and it shouldn't be like a competition, you know? It should
Exactly,
be like a
because
friendly place.
right, because to
Yeah.
me, professional dancers are people who just know how to professionally maneuver their own bodies. Like
Yeah.
that's what separates you from the masses. How are you operating this space? And it takes people like that training and whatever styles that you try out to figure out what is you, what is your vibe. Like people may move like you, but they will never be you.
Yes.
So it's just like finding that like individuality in the space is what people are not open sometimes to like challenging themselves and not getting frustrated, and dance you have to pull up for yourself every time you walk into the room.
For sure. I mean, so when you do go into those classes, are you like do you have nerves? Or are you like completely confident? Like what do you feel when you're in those classes?
So when I first walked into the space, my intention was to take 5 classes a day, 5 days a week, and just leave my just like I said, like leave better than I came in.
Mm,
So I would push myself into these hard classes. And I'm telling you, for the first 3 to 6 months, I was crying in my car because I did not remember any of the choreography. Like it wasn't even a matter that I didn't get called out for groups. It was just the fact that I couldn't even remember an A count of what was happening because it was such a big transition for me. So I'm I love the song. I feel like it really put it like certain aspects of the class like really pushed me to individually make sure that because outside of Millennium, I was not rehearsing, I was not
mhm.
freestyling yet, I wasn't at that point because I wasn't at that level of comfortability. I was just a matter of okay, since I've made this to come to class every day, I'm going to just not touch it until I come back the next day and just like force myself to like figure it out, and like that's what makes the best like dance choices because it happens in the moment and everything. But regardless any of that, so that's like how I was going to it when I first came in. But now I go into it like, so before I used to come to a room and be scared because I was just not of the people. but not being able to remember the choreography because I
Yeah.
was like too talkative in class, or I don't like I feel like I talked the right amount because every time the teacher responded or like asked the question, I respond, and like that'd be like the only time, or
Mhm.
unless like a little bit of a little conversation. But the people make me feel safe because I feel like I'm just like a people person. But I used to walk into those rooms and be scared. Now I walk into a room and like you really do realize that like Millennium is it's not like just like the end all, or G Studios are not the end all. It's just another place where people go train. Like we're all
Yes.
strangers.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
like know each other. Like nobody's gonna force you to talk to somebody. We're all like making an individual choice to spend our money to be here. So like for me, breaking it down in my mind as, oh, this is just like a little bit like high school. Like these people are well known here because they've been here longer. It's like a level of seniority.
Yes.
Like, so of course you feel you came in feeling new and you feel like you are kind of out of place because these people have built a community to know each other's names and like get more
Mhm.
involved in each other's lives because we're all in the same space, which is great. So I'm happy that I can like walk into a class now and just be like, oh my God, like say hi to like a couple of friends and just like go try to make a new friend because I push myself to like not be closed off. And even though sometimes I might go blank and be like, I don't know what I'm about to say, but I'm about to just walk up to somebody random and just be like, hey, oh, I like your tattoo. Like, like just a easy icebreaker. So that way,
Yes.
like you struggling, girl, I look over too to those newbies in the room and I just be like, girl, I'm struggling too. Like, because I had this one girl one time just like she came to class like 15 minutes late and she didn't know what happened, and I just took it into my liberty to just teach her the whole second half, like the first
Oh,
half of the
that's
dance, because
amazing.
I was like, girl, don't worry, like we failed it too, and we still did it every time that the choreographer was like, we're running it. We still did it, but we were back there laughing at each other, and she told me like after the class that it really helped her feel like better in the space because even though if she didn't get the whole combo, she had fun in the process, and that's what dance is supposed to be, fun. It's like, yes, we can get into politics and dancers should be making more and stuff like that, but like this is a passion because of what the essence of it is, love for movement and expressing yourself through that movement.
Yeah. Ugh, I love that. I think there's not enough people that are like that and like willing to do that. Like I just think there are a lot of I mean there are great people and people who go there for the right intentions, but there definitely are like a lot of people who also go and who are just super competitive and I don't know, I guess like maybe will like judge you if you don't pick up the choreography and stuff, but um just having like one person like you in the room that are so like there for anyone, will help anyone, is supportive, honestly makes such a difference. Like I felt so much more comfortable in the room whenever like you were there. Truly, even though we didn't even talk that much, just like I don't know, your like energy, your vibe.
I was
Yeah.
like, hey girl, what you doing? Like I was like, let me get to know you. What's up? I was like, you ate
Yes.
that. What's up?
Yeah,
It's
I
support, it's love, it's
yes.
like showing you that this is a safe space to know that like you can be you and I'm going to support you regardless. And not a lot of
Yeah.
people walk into that space because even like if you like start off the space like really well and the teachers are like getting people to be responsive, when it gets time for groups, like it still is kind of at this awkward stage right now where people are
Mhm.
like scared to cheer for each other because they're still like trying to get it for themselves
Mhm.
mentally. And I'm the type of person too to like go on the side and still be
Yes,
practicing
that's what I
sometimes and
do.
like
And then
exactly.
ooh, maybe I should be watching them, you know?
Right, right. Because what if they do something I like and I want to add to it,
Yeah,
something like that. So
exactly.
like, and like I definitely do switch off like back and forth, but like finding that good blend of just like making it more welcoming in the space to just cheer for each other and like, girl, if you mess up, girl, I'm not perfect either. We finna go in this and we finna do it crashing, smiling, smiling hard. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I love that. Um, so now let's get into this. You were on the show Dancing with Myself, which
Ooh,
was the hosts were Shakira, Liza Koshy, and
Nick
yes, Nick Jonas. I don't know
Jonas.
why I was blanking on his name.
Oh
Um,
my god.
so how I don't know how much you can like really talk about it, but like I guess what can like how was the process? how did you find out about it? Just like kind of talk a little bit about that.
Okay, awesome. So I found this opportunity through my manager, Sonali. She's
Mm,
super awesome, super dope. I would say nobody cares more about her clients. Nobody cares more about their clients than Sonali
that's
because I
fair.
feel like
Yeah.
she has like literally been like my mom, like somebody that I just met, but I feel like I've known forever. Like she's always done things that have been in the best interest of all of her talent, and it's more of a family type of vibe. So she found this audition and she sent it to me via text, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do all these videos, responses, and stuff like that, and see if we are gonna make it past these like rounds of auditions. So I made it all the way through the rounds of auditions, and then I just finally got the final call. They're like, hey, because they didn't tell us exactly what the show was gonna be yet. Like it was just
Mhm.
like advertised as a different show at first. Because I guess that was like that's like Loki kind of smart. So like
Yeah.
less submissions too. But they told me that it was gonna be Shakira's show, and I was like freaking out because I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, what
No, that's crazy.
Shakira?
Yeah.
So like, and it was like the full like movie star experience. Like like they paid for everything, girl. I felt like I was on top of the world. Like this is gonna be the end all be all. Like all I have to do is go to the Shakira show and win.
Yeah.
Which it was super fun because like I went in and I saw a lot of familiar faces from like social media that like I've already known or like people that I literally just got on the same flight with or like we came from the same like studio. Like people that I trained with at Millennium are on the show. Like Cameron Lee was like co-choreographing, like Kelly Sweeney was co-choreographing, like it Will Big Will Simmons he was also choreographing. So like literally three people that I trained under
Yeah,
consistently
that's
are
amazing.
like at doing this job. So I was like, this is like destiny. So like I went on there with the intention of just being better than I was tomorrow and giving it my best. And I
Yeah.
practiced every night. I smiled every night because the cast that I got to be with for my episode were super amazing people. We did a lot of stuff outside of rehearsals. Like I got to know
Aw,
so much more about them and like they're such creative and bright and wonderful souls and I know they're going to do great things in whatever they decide to do and
that's
I'm rooting for
amazing.
them. Like I'm actually going to see one of them soon. Caitlin, I might see her soon because she might come into LA. So
Aw,
it's like a little family. Like we always make sure to like retouch in with each other, which I love because community is everything.
yes. Yes, it is.
But the experience was dope, and I got to do. I obviously did not like. Well, I can't. Mm, no, yeah, it's already out. So I'm like, yeah, I obviously did not win the show. I wasn't mad about it. I was so grateful for the entire experience. The fact that I could even have a full circle moment and my whole social media career, the reason I even got this job was because I was posting on social media
Yeah.
because of Liza Koshy. And then the fact that she's judging this show and I got to see her again. Like I didn't get to like get a video or anything and just like talk to her for like 2 seconds. Like, well, I did like behind my pod, like
Mhm.
she like was walking through and say hi to everybody and I just like
That's so cool.
I was like, oh my god, like Liza. I was like, oh my. And as soon as I asked her, like, do you remember me? Like, I think she had to like hurry up and go like shoot for the opening of the show. So I was like, oh my god, I don't even know. But like, it was just nice to see her again and know that she
Yeah.
was like a heavy figure in my life. Like, I love her, and she gave me everything I needed on those Wednesdays in order to keep going in school, and just like she had an influence on me, and I love her.
Aw, that's amazing. Um, so I don't know if this is like sensitive or anything. I
Hmm.
feel like you probably might know what I'm gonna say.
Right.
You kinda like
Zesty.
um you were dancing your heart away, doing amazing. And I think was it in your turn? I think maybe you like kind of
Oh,
slipped.
oh my god, yeah. Like, oh, that's crazy. The big moment on stage, girl. I was literally
um,
so like nervous for it because like that was like everything else was like everything about the show was like choreographed. So like you had just to
yeah,
like learn to dance and just like rehearse. And then so I was not too fond with freestyle. I was still like at the beginning or like the
yeah,
middle part of my like dance journey. So I'm like in the middle of like, okay, so I have to go on the stage and freestyle. And I was like, okay, I have good technique. Let's just try to go for a good turns. And you're standing up like up on a platform and if in front of the like booth that I'm in, like the little my like box, there's like a
Yeah.
giant step down. So like
Mhm.
you would have like it would have felt like 40 floors, but like I was in the middle of my turn and I didn't come down correctly, and I literally like stepped outside of the box, and I swear my heart like came out of my chest and I like evaporated. I probably astral projected because I was like, wait, what? But I was like, with my training in LA, it was like, don't stop, you got to keep going. So I literally
Yes.
hopped back in the box and was like, you got to do something big to come back on. And like, I did a back handspring into the splits, which not a lot
Yeah.
of boys
No, that
even
was
have their
great.
splits. So like,
Yeah.
they loved it, and I just am so proud of myself for not giving up because I could have like let that be like, oh my god. It's just like I look back at it now like as a funny moment, like that's like all over everywhere on national television.
I
Because
mean,
like
sorry,
what?
keep going.
No, but yeah, no, yeah, that was I was like that's funny. Like I needed a meme moment.
I
Gotta
mean,
have
like,
history.
I mean, you were eating, like, it looked so good, and even, like, the little slip up that you had, like, it didn't even look bad, and especially, like, after it, like, you just, like, kept going and, like and
Yeah,
that's always important, like, people make mistakes, people mess up, but as long as you, like, keep going and, um, just, like, gotta go stronger,
yeah. As long
and
as you
it
keep
just, like,
going.
makes the performance, like, it makes people forget about the bad thing that happened or, Um,
Exactly. Be persistent. Pull up for yourself. Never give up. They don't know the choreography. They tell dancers that
yes.
all the time. They don't know the
Yeah.
choreography. Never let them know your next move.
No, yes, and, so obviously that is, like, on national television, everyone can see that. So, like, how I mean, you're probably, like, don't really ca this was a while ago, but how at least, like, in the moment, how did you like, were you nervous for it to come out and people to see that, or were you, like
Oh
you kinda just,
yeah.
like, owned you just,
Yeah,
like, owned
girl.
it?
Like after it happened on stage, I was immediately like, "Oh my god, that's going on national television." So we're gonna have to mentally fight it out right now, David, because you have another round. The show is still going.
Yeah,
I was like, "You're just gonna
yeah.
have to suck it up and just like." You didn't even break anything. Like it would have been bad if I would have fell off stage and just like broke
Ooh, yeah,
something. But
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
you protected your body. You're still able, and you're like, hopefully that trick separated you apart from like other people, so that way
Yeah.
you can still keep going. Because like, like so I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be on national television, and I was like, I'm gonna post it on my Instagram as like, Mimi as like me doing it first before they chew me up, type thing.
Yes. No, that's good, yeah.
So I feel like I did it at the right time, and it was just like a funny moment. Like I talked about it with like a lot of the castmates, and they were like, "Whoa, I didn't even know you did that," but because we're all standing in the
Yeah,
booth like
yeah.
facing one way, and they're like, "Whoa, I can't believe you didn't get through," or like something like that. Like it was like strictly like not a lot of people would think that like they would think like the shows are like rigged on national television or something like
Mhm.
that. No, it's like there was an actual audience and people had to actually
That's
vote
so
on who they
cool.
wanted to keep, which was dope because it took like a lot of my like childhood fears about people being programming us from birth, type stuff.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my god, like this is real. Like it's not like what they're saying on like social media that everything is rigged and like you've been trained to think a certain way. And people were actually voting. Like I got to connect with the people on stage after falling off the stage, girl. I saw a lot of faces. I realized that I couldn't see anything outside of my box. So when I stepped out of
Yeah.
my box during that freestyle, I looked and there was like this was like a big group of people. There's like at least 250 people
That's
in the
crazy,
room
yeah.
voting live and like watching me, and they saw me I was like everybody else is in the booth. I stepped out of the booth and had stepped right back in, like, but also I felt like it was kind of a little bit kind of weird because like depending on where you were placed on stage is like how many people would see you, because like the way the room was shaped is like almost like a rectangle, and like in the middle of the
Um,
rectangle there's like half of the rectangle is like, oh, I don't know how to explain this vertically, but like it's like a box, but in the middle is like from the middle down is like the stage, and you have only the top half of that being like audience members, so they can only fit so
got
many
it.
people into the
Yeah.
room. So on my side there wasn't that many people, but I was so grateful that for the entire experience because I feel like I gave it my all and I did my best. And my girl Tyra A, like, what?
Yes. Um, and I think I'm pretty sure if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure like Nick Jonas said something like he kind of brought it up, right?
Oh
Or was it
yeah, yeah. Oh
but like
yeah.
how was that just like him like talking to you and just like the judges like just knowing like who was in front of you. Like I'm sure that was like so cool.
Girl, round after round, I did not even like know. Like, I was just so happy to just even be there. Like, because like
Yeah.
what? Like, these are all like three of my childhood idols that have literally born and bred me to be like this, like have all these character traits and help me be who I am. Like what? So after that
Yeah.
round and I had fell out, I was like, okay, this is over for me. Like we're about to have fun. Like you, at least you didn't break anything. Like I'm in like recovery mode instantly as soon as the
Yes.
panel redrops, and I'm like, okay, like the fact that Nick was like, I don't know if everybody's blind, but you kind of ate that. I was like, ah.
Yeah. I mean, you did. It looked great. I'm being
I was like,
completely
dang, like
truthful.
I was really looking forward to like moving forward in the competition, just knowing that like one of my childhood idols just like let that fly out of his mouth and just like, yeah, you ate, like you know.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
know, that's
wow.
so cool. And did you, ever, like, compete with dance or no?
No, I was always classically trained from I used to be like a really rebellious kid from like age like 11 to 12 until I was put in like to a summer camp where they had us audition for all of the arts. And
Mm,
by rebellious kid, I don't mean like being abusive or anything like that. Like nothing anger wise. I was like usually like I'm like a quiet soul. Like I
got
usually
it,
will just
yeah.
take the hits and be quiet. But like um but this program, I was forced to go into it because like I was just like running away and just like not wanting to be around people at all. Like because I felt like I was so different with me and all my different characteristics that define who I am. I was like, this doesn't feel right. So I ended up going to the camp for like 5 days, and I had to audition for those 5 days. I had to audition for every last one of the curriculum things that they were teaching there. Like it was a requirement for everyone, and whichever one you excelled in, like or they thought you fit into, they would put you in. So I didn't do competition, but that program, like it shifted my entire mindset. Like I had to do drums, I had to do acting, I had to do
Oh, that's
ensemble singing.
cool.
Like I
Yeah.
dance was like my favorite part because all we did
Mhm.
all day was literally train and like fall in love with movement. And I it was one of the greatest pushes of my life, and it's like made me who I am today. And I would suggest that program for anybody who would be looking to like advance their kids' lives and stuff like that. Because think programs like that are what keeps the love for the community going. Like the West Las I was living in Vegas at the time, so like it's hot outside, everybody's on the strip, like it's a lot of crime going on everywhere, like kids are getting involved in the wrong things, and I just didn't want to be there. I was a small town boy from Arkansas, and I'm like, I don't like this. I don't want to be
Yeah.
here right now.
Yeah.
But it caught me off guard, and I grew a love for it. And when we moved back to Arkansas, all I was doing was dance. All from that point on, all I was doing was dance. Period. Like I had found a way to incorporate it into my day to day life, which at the time was TikTok. So I was just simply learning TikTok dances. And when we went back to Arkansas, I started training in ballet, and I got to invited to do a couple of principal roles, like the Nutcracker and Midsummer Nights, and I think like other productions from my like school that we did a lot of programs. And I just when I came to LA, it was a complete culture shock because it was like, oh my god,
Mhm. Yeah.
the 1, 2, 3, 4, the low eight, the short slow eight count that we would do back home does not fly here.
Yes.
They said,
Yeah.
no, girl, we're on level 10. What is this,
Yeah.
level 2?
Yeah. Well, that's crazy from, like, not competing or, being in that type of world to being on a, like, competitive dance show. Or
Right.
yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
I love my competitive girlies because I know they got to drive and they do like all of that training into one slew over the years. So like
Mhm.
yeah, I knew that like if there was a comp girl on the stage, she ate it up, you know?
Yeah, but, I mean, that's so because like, obviously you're into, like, Musically and TikTok, and the show Dancing with Myself was, like, kinda like a TikTok show type of thing. So, I mean, I guess that was like somewhat up your like alley, you know, because you're
Right.
already into that. So, I'm sure that was just like it was like a perfect show for you.
Yeah, it felt like absolutely like it was meant to happen because the thing that, especially with Liza being there, like I said, like in
Yeah.
full circle moment, I was like, I feel like somehow, some way, if I wouldn't have started that day because of you, I would not have been here.
I mean, everything literally happens for a reason. It's crazy.
Right.
So like what are your main like goals in life? What do you want to do? Dance, more choreography, singing? Like
We're
what's
talking about the future. Ah,
yeah.
I love the future.
Slay
Okay,
future.
so I just got back from my first ever national tour.
Oh.
Like snaps for that one because I it was like such a last minute thing. I didn't even know if I was gonna get it or not. So it crossed off one of my New Year's resolutions for this year, which was to do more traveling. So that was awesome.
And
Definitely
what
long
was that? Was it
term.
a dance tour?
Yeah, it was like a kids entertainment tour with like a company called Blippi.
Oh.
If you know what Blippi is, it's like basically Baby Shark. It
Got it,
literally is
got it,
Baby
got
Shark. Yeah.
it.
But like it was such a great opportunity just to perform in front of the like younger generation. Their energy was like absolutely crazy and bonkers. But looking forward into the future, I definitely want to do like I would love to like do a tour with Rosalia. Like I feel like my training, I've been taking it way more serious and holding more sessions, and I'm getting ready to release like a couple of concepts, and I want to start posting on YouTube once a week, and I'm
Yes.
like I got a lot of goals, a clothing brand that I want to come out and just like
Okay.
maintain, and just like the goal is before 25, I'm sitting in my dream house with my cat.
Oh.
Like even if
And
it's like not my dream house yet, sitting in the build of my dream house, like what I can custom potentially custom make into my dream home.
where is your dream home located? Do you want to be in California?
Oh yeah, like I was born here in California before we moved to Arkansas when I was
Mm.
9, and then we just went back and forth between Vegas and Arkansas. But being here has been like, especially North Hollywood, where I've been living, has been like super like suburban, and like the experiences have been great. Like obviously, homeless people are everywhere, like, and it does
Yeah.
suck to see it, but like
Yeah.
the places that I was living at, like have taught me it's literally about like area and like
Mhm.
type thing. Like
For
so
real.
I definitely want to own a home in California. And I'm, looking to like do it in the next like could literally upcoming years.
Ooh, that's so exciting.
Yes, we love house hunting. But yeah, clothing brand. I want to start posting more on social media,
Mhm.
and I want to travel more.
Yeah, that's great, great goals, great future goals. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like mine are pretty similar too. I've this summer, since I'm like not really doing anything this summer, so I've kind of am trying to work more on my social media. I'm starting to post on YouTube now and working more on Instagram and TikTok and all of that stuff.
No, yeah, I see
Um,
it, girl. I'm in the
and
comment sections. I'm liking.
and this podcast, obviously. But yeah, and then also like I will like, would you want to go on tour with like dance wise? Like
Oh,
who?
who would I want to go on tour with dance
Yeah,
wise?
yeah.
Definitely like Rosalia. Like I
Oh
feel like
right,
she
you
is
said
like
that.
the
Yeah.
end all be all. Like I would love to like, and if I ever had to meet a celebrity, period, it'd probably be Cameron Diaz. Like
Yeah.
even though like I don't know what Rosa like, I love her songs, but when they first come out, I don't know what they're saying. She's speaking literally a whole nother language, and I'm just like, girl, I don't know what this is, but I support you. I love you, like, cause the vibe is there, and like, she's just so talented, and her dancers are so talented. A couple of my friends have danced for her,
Oh, that's so
and I
cool.
just feel like, for me, that would be the dream. The
Yeah.
dream.
I mean, I feel like, ugh, I would love to go on tour with someone because, like you said, like I love to travel, and that's just such a great way to travel and obviously do what I love the most, which is dance.
Right. A win is a win.
Yeah, it's just it's
That's
perfect.
another reason why I was like so thankful for this tour because
Mhm.
not only was I getting this was my first big dance job, I have more time to be in tune with myself and just like love myself and get to know more about myself and just I wanted to be able to have more time to explore myself so that way I can make better content for my followers and make and have more content to post in general because with this like day to day like life stuff, especially out here in California, I see a lot of dancers working like 80-hour weeks in order to just go to
Yeah.
class for 2 hours. And like
Yeah.
I never wanted to be tied to that life, and I don't think anybody is ever made for that life. But it
Mhm.
was nice to go on tour for those 26 days, and every night we would leave at 11 p.m. to go to a different state and a different city, and I got
That's
to see
so
places
cool.
that
So
I. Mhm,
would you
mhm.
like travel on like a bus?
Yeah, we did a bus tour. So
that's so fun.
it was the full experience. A girl, I had the middle bunk. I tried out all three of the bunks, and I was just really feeling the middle.
Uh, oh my gosh, I love that. So you would leave at 11, you said?
Yeah, we would leave at like 11 o'clock every night to go to another city, unless
And
we had a
then
hotel or we're staying. We had a 2 day show or something like that. So, and then we would have our schedules to start as soon as the 8 a.m. because we
8
have breakfast
a.m.
at 8 a.m.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well,
And
you
what
don't have to
time
wake
will
up at 8 a.m., but I was literally up at 8 a.m. because breakfast was being served. 3 meals per day. Like,
Yes,
the company
very
we were working
important.
for was superb. They're like one of the best.
That's great. And what was I gonna say? Oh, did you like have rehearsals before every show? Or like
Oh
how did
yeah,
that
yeah.
work? Yeah.
So basically, like our schedules would start at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Was when breakfast being served, but you didn't have to like do anything until basically like four 4 o'clock most days. It depends on like what time the shows would be, because sometimes it would be at like 6 o'clock and then or 6 o'clock to 7:30, type thing. It just depends on the
Yeah.
time of the day. But usually we would have a company meeting at 4 o'clock, and then you would stretch for 30 minutes, and then you're off to go do whatever you want for another like hour because you have from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock to do whatever you want. You can explore the
Yeah.
city. So
That's
then
so
we just
cool.
like have an hour to company meeting, stretch, have another hour to recover before the show, and then perform. And then take a shower, go out, do some other stuff, and then you gotta be back at the bus before 11 o'clock. And then we'd be on to the next city,
That is so fun.
which I will say there's a lot of cities that immediately made me feel like I would literally move here immediately. And there was other
Lit
cities that were like, I would not come back here even if cheese was made here.
What were your favorite cities?
Ugh,
Your top 3.
I have a whole list, but
Top
basically,
3.
okay, top three: Cincinnati, Ohio.
Mm.
Beautiful. They're LGBT friendly. We love that. It's beautiful. It's modernized. The buildings have so much characteristics, and they're so like there's woods in there as well. So which I love because in California it can start to feel like a concrete jungle.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Two is Albany, New York. Like it really broke down
Ooh.
all of the like stigmas that people were telling me about New York. It's so dangerous. It's so this. Like
Mhm.
people are really just minding their business out there, and like I guess it's just like one of those stereotypes that are just like outgrowing like its name because it's not like that any like it must have been there like that at a period, but like not it's not like what they said it was. Like I don't know, it ended up being so beautiful. I was walking around by myself. I went on a quick jog. Like I was in the
Aw.
capital. It was
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's so nice.
It was awesome. And number three, I would say Pittsburgh,
Oh,
Pennsylvania.
really?
Yeah, a lot of people were telling me to go come back during the snow. And I was like, oh no, are you trying to
Mm.
kill me? Because I could see these streets would be filled.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun. That's literally a dream of mine to go
Oh
on
yeah, we
tour with
also went to
someone.
like New Orleans and like
Ooh.
we had some Texas stops, but let me just tell you the Texans are fighting for their lives every day out there. Because girl, what is happening? The sun is so hot out there that they have
I've
to literally
heard.
look up and
Yeah.
squint so hard, and it's causing them to get 7 heads. So they're mega millioning it out for us, girl.
Yeah, I've heard. That's so fun. That's so, so, so cool.
But New Orleans was beautiful. It was like it was hot there too. Like it was crazy. But I went to like a childhood goal of mine was to go to the place where Vampire Diaries, the
Oh,
originals and stuff
yeah.
were filmed. So I got to go to the Hotel Royale, and the minute I walked in, So I literally am like across the street. And I'm like taking you into the story. I'm literally like across the street. I walk in and I'm like looking, I look like a tourist already because I got my phone in hand and a bag in the other hand. And the lady who was like I guess like the host or the person that was supposed to be like the room attendant, she was like, "Oh yeah, it's in there, and it's the courtyard." And I got to stand in the Michelson house, like what? And I took pictures there, of
Oh,
course,
that's
I was
so
living my
cool.
best life, but it felt
Yeah.
so surreal to be like there because New Orleans was exactly like everybody said it would be. Like it was beautiful, the food was everywhere, it was delicious, there was live music, like the people are nice and friendly, like and it's just a beautiful space. Like it is hot, but it's a beautiful space and
Yeah.
it just looks great there.
Oh, that's so fun. I'm jealous. Um, so is there anything else that you want to talk about? Or do you think you like touched everything?
I don't know. I'm like a question guy. You're like, and I like have really bad ADHD. Like, like you can't just give me a like open question like that. I'll come up with like 45 different things. But let's see. Clothing brand coming soon. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like in the next upcoming years, outside of just posting one video on YouTube. Like I think that business will keep me occupied in my real life and just like plan to replace like
Yeah.
I guess my dance life because I know like at dance like you kind of like get tired. I know some people age out at like 30, but like I kind of want to be a pop star too. So like what's gonna I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, girl. I'm like in the middle of
Yeah.
like the midlife crisis of figuring it all out.
Yeah,
What do
I
I do?
mean,
Who am I?
you can like set goals and plan your future, but you never really know like what is really gonna happen.
Exactly. I want to be on the Zach Zang show one day.
Oh
Like
my gosh,
I love him.
I
He's
love him.
phenomenal.
Yes.
Like, girl, what do I have to do to get in that room?
Right? I actually think, um, so I used to have a condo in like Westwood, which is right
Uh-huh.
by
Oh
UCLA,
my god, yeah, I know where that's at. I used to
and
work over there.
I would walk, just like take a little morning walk every morning to um go to Alfred's, and I swear I walked past him 2 times. Like, it had to have been
Ugh,
him. Like, and I almost said something, but I was like, "What if it's not him?" And also, like, I don't know. I mean, he seems very, very nice, but I'm
girl.
just very I get really nervous with, like, like, saying
Oh,
hi
I
to,
feel
like,
that. That happened to me at, like with Abby Lee Miller.
uh
I was in Santa Monica and like all of my friends were like in a circle and all of a sudden I just see all of them run towards this lady who's like zooming in her wheelchair down Santa Monica Boulevard.
I'm
And
dead.
I'm like, what? I'm like, they left, they came back, and I was like, what? Who was that? They were like, dude, it was Abby Lee Miller. And I was like the only dancer in the group. And I was like, wow, you guys really just like left the only like, wow, love you
Yeah,
guys.
that's so
I was like,
funny.
dang it.
That's so funny. But yes, I
I've
love
just been
him.
lying. Yeah, I hope one day I had to get on his show and then the hot ones too, because I kind of want to do that just to just share in my
Yeah.
life and
Yes.
then never do it again.
Yeah. The question what I wanted to know is like what type of clothing brand? Is it like athletic wear? Is it streetwear?
It's gonna be like a mix of both. It'll be like an
Oh,
athletic
cool.
streetwear version, like like the slim crop tops. Like it'll have crop tops,
Nice.
graphic tees, like sweats, like straight leg sweats. Like I want to leave it as like active wear because I don't want to get it too stationary to where it's like, oh my god, suits. I would just think it's just like a high, like yeah, like exactly like an athletic streetwear brand.
Cool. And is it for women and men
It'll be
or
unisex, no
cool,
labels over
cool.
here, girl. Clothes don't have a
Perfect.
gender.
Yes, period.
But yeah, like it's definitely gonna be out soon. The Instagram's already up. It's called the White
Ooh.
Lotus.
I'm gonna
So look
definitely go
forward.
and follow it right after this.
Yes, we'll be posting some mock-ups soon. Like my plans before the end of this year is to have it out and produced and like sale, like the website up and saleable. Because right now I'm just in the talks of just like getting the mock-ups for the clothes and stuff done. Because like I have so many custom ideas in my head that I'm like,
Yeah.
it's hard to like limit myself. I'm like,
Mhm.
but also trying to do like concepts and then come out with a small business and make sure all those calls are being taken care of, and then like maintain a social media career, and then like it all gets crazy. But like the way I
Yeah.
stay like motivated is just like knowing that like I trust the universe. Like I don't think that I'm not like a strong religious person or anything like
Mhm.
that, but I just feel like there's energy out there, and like it's been shown whenever I put good out there that good comes back. And like that's why exactly why it matters what you say to people, not even just like in
Yes.
public but in private as well. Because like if you're treating them like that, like imagine if you're treating like a
Mhm.
stranger like or somebody you know like trash, then of course you're treating everybody you know like trash. And like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just like it gets hard to like maintain everything because you have to like schedule out everything, make calls, like
Mhm.
you gotta make follow-ups and just like make sure the clothing's done right. And then you also have to like yeah, brand deals, you got movie premieres you gotta go to, like just like
Yeah.
operating it all, but then also like LA is expensive, girl.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
we both know this, like LA
Yes, it
is expensive,
is.
so like trying to like stretch it out and like try to like really like make the best out of your time. That's exactly like why like you see people collab a lot and like because they
Mhm.
got to keep things going. It's not like they're trying to use each other, but like they do have platforms that they have to keep like alive, of course, like otherwise
Yeah,
their dreams
for
get cut
sure.
short.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I try to like remind myself is whenever I stress. I mean, I'm only 19, but there are times where I stress and I'm like, what if like what I cuz like I want to have a career in dance and I'm like, what if those things I don't like, what if it doesn't work out for me, you know? But I just try and just like remind myself that there's a plan for everyone and just you like cannot stress because whatever is supposed to come your way will happen no matter what. So,
Literally, and I tell people this all the time. I'm like, there is an audience. There's millions of people,
mhm.
billions of
Yeah,
people in this world,
billions.
and at least 1% are obsessed with you. At least
Yes.
1%
Yeah.
want to just know what you're doing on a daily basis. Everybody has an audience. It's just a matter of
Mhm.
what are you doing to get to them. And like what you're doing is posting on social media, so that way it's giving more access to like your reach and like how
Yeah.
many people get to see you, even if they just click the video and click off. Like that helps you get pushed to more people. Like the algorithm works the way it works for a reason, but like you
Mhm.
can't just
Very
keep
true.
don't for yourself. Like I did not expect this tour to come ever because like I thought I was gonna have to go into a room with like heavy hitters and like they want really tall men. I just had auditioned for a bunch of cruise lines and I wouldn't say that all the boys were like the best, like, but it came clear to me that it was like a height thing. Like they
Yeah.
wanted them for
Mhm.
like immersive type of thing to be like around you and like make you feel small, like type thing. So like looking forward to like not the year because I tell myself if I'm not signed by the end of the year that I'm just like I'm out on my own, which is fine because like if people can't realize through your talent when you're presenting it to them, like
Mhm.
just make them regret it, and then they're gonna have to chase you down. They're gonna have to get your
Yeah.
attention. They're gonna have to
Yes.
make you check that email.
Yeah. I mean, another thing that's like so important to remember in this industry is like when you do go on auditions and stuff, it's like if you don't make it, it's nothing with you and you have to just remember that the
They have a certain
judges
look.
yes, it's so specific and you just don't like meet those requirements, but it doesn't mean that you are a bad dancer, a bad singer, a bad actor, a bad like
Exactly.
like if you're like trying to model, like it doesn't mean you're ugly. It's just you don't fit their requirements, but there will be certain opportunities and people where you do meet their
Where you're
requirements.
perfect. You're everything that
Yeah,
they've been looking for since they started the campaign. Like
exactly. Yeah.
it's just like I know a lot of people like are not like open to being in rooms where they're like open to being judged. So like
Mm,
it's like it's a scary space, but like training
super.
does
Yeah.
prepare you for that space because it's like the same level. Like high school, like people who show up to these auditions, like I have been here for a minute. They have been most likely sent on this job along with other jobs that they've seen people that they met like 45 times already. Like, like it's just like kind of who you know out here, more of like who you know, then like wait, it's less about who you are and more of a who you know, because like if
Yes.
you are a harder worker, like, and you, that's why I try to like walk into rooms and just be a good person, like
Mhm.
that'll like, and hopefully leading with that energy takes you somewhere else, like, and if you come in to a class and you show somebody that you're a hard worker and they look at you and they trust and they believe that you can do something, I guarantee you they will book you for it, like regardless of any of the like stigmas that may be around it, type thing. And I never thought I would be a tour type of dancer because like I'm so short. I'm literally 5'4". That's so scary. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, they don't like to sign short boys. Like, oh, what is this? And when the opportunity came, I saw it on Instagram. I snatched it up.
Yeah. I mean, there's an opportunity out there for everyone. It
Right.
just, it takes time. Some come quicker to others and, so it's
Yeah.
just
But I would say in order to stay motivated, just like fall in love with you and
yeah.
really cherish who you are as a person and realize that what you have to bring is different than what anybody else has to offer. Like,
Yeah, that's so true.
and if they don't realize it now, you can make them realize it later.
Yeah,
But
I
just
love
know that
that.
you've been holding on to that goal this entire time.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, I would say that's how I stay like motivated, because doing a mental health is everything. Make sure you
mhm.
check in mentally. It doesn't have to be like a whole like you need to get a therapist type thing, because I'm not even a therapist type of person. Like
Yeah.
I believe like just internally talking to myself calms me down, and
Yeah.
sometimes even like verbally outwards talking to yourself. Even if some people might think you crazy, but like you're talking to
Yeah.
you, and you know how to
Yeah.
calm you down. You know how to talk you into like making some sense. So like
Yeah.
cope with it how you cope with it, but like never like diminish the product that you already have. Like if you worked for 3 years to get to that point in dance where you at least can remember the choreography, like don't forget that all that effort happened just because you went to an audition and you didn't get signed immediately.
Mhm.
Like
No, yeah, so
like,
true.
but you can
Very
limit
true.
how many times you're like open to like putting yourself in those positions, because even for me, like I don't like putting myself into a room where I'm like letting people I don't know gauge me in a room full of people to tell me if I'm good or not, because of that like 30-second like mental battle of, oh my god, I'm not good enough and all that stuff. Like it's not a good feeling that anybody wants to feel. Like
No,
they
yeah.
always want to know that you're validated and you're here and like that you are special, but that doesn't mean that you're the only special one in the room.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
Like
Um,
you could be a genius, but doesn't mean you're the only one in the room.
no, yeah. Um, I feel like we talked a lot of good things.
Yeah, we
And
did get caught up a lot.
this was a good podcast.
Yes, Zara's podcast.
This was amazing. Thank you
Yep, it
so
was dope.
much for
Thank you so much for
joining.
having me. Like,
Of
what?
course, of
Like, we still got to do that
course.
collab where you teach me how to be flexible, because I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, girl, that's gonna be so entertaining. My followers are gonna eat that up.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. We'll stay in touch and figure some things out. Do some
Woo!
collabs.
For sure. They better be looking out for
Yes.
those.
Yeah.
Definitely follow me on my socials at your boy Dave.
No, yeah. Plug.
Look, my Instagram is at David Warren, and then the rest of my socials are at your boy Dave, which a lot of people get this confused. It's YOBOIIDAVE. And if you want to follow my new TikTok, that's like my project for this year's resolution refresh start over. It is Who is Dave with 3 E's. Yeah.
Woo!
Woo! This is so much
Okay.
fun. Oh my god, this is like crazy. It's not a fight. It's official. Like, come on, Zara.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for joining this episode's podcast.
Woo! Thank you for having me, because this is an
Of
amazing experience.
course. Of course. Thank you.
Woo!
Okay, well, um, yeah, yeah.
Okay, she's like, "Yep, let's end the podcast." You
Let's
guys have
end the
like an
pod.
outro or anything yet? That's like, oh my
No,
god, it's
I
Zara,
mean,
and you're heading west, or like, what's the
no,
outro?
no, we gotta figure that out. This is still so new, but
Oh, that's a part of the journey, baby.
yes,
As
yes,
long as you're
yes.
learning.
Yep. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you guys back with next week's episode.
Woo!
Bye.
Bye.